We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour, a mega celebration of textile trade, technology and tradition as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Bharat Tex 2024. Israel, United States, Qatar and Egypt come to an understanding of basic contours of a hostage deal for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. Prime Minister Netanyahu casts doubt. And India resumes innings at 40-0 on day 4 I series win in the 4th test against England. And on to the details now. Reaffirming India's position as a global textile powerhouse, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Bharat Tex 2024 in a short while from now. One of the largest ever global textile events is being organized in the country from the 26th to 29th of February 2024. Drawing inspiration from the 5F vision of the Prime Minister, the event has a unified farm to foreign wire fiber, fabric and fashion focus, covering the entire textiles value chain. It will showcase India's prowess in the textile sector. Bharat Tex 2024 is built on the twin pillars of trade and investment with an overarching focus on sustainability. The 4 days event will feature over 65 knowledge sessions with more than 100 global panelists discussing various issues facing relevant to the sector. It will also have dedicated pavilions on sustainability and circularity, an indie heart fashion presentation. Bharat Tex 2024 is expected to witness participation of policymakers and global CEOs, over 3,500 exhibitors, over 3,000 buyers from over 100 countries, and more than 40,000 business visitors. With more than 50 announcements and MOUs expected to be signed during the event, it is envisaged to help push up exports. And to get more on Bharat Tex, we have DD India's correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya joining us from there. Well, Tapas, Prime Minister to inaugurate Bharat Tex 2024 in a short while from now. Bharat Tex 2024 is envisaged to be the biggest textile event at the global level with about 100 exhibitors from around the world. Could you tell us more about the whole event?
There is no denying about that Bharat Tex is expected to be a launch pad for India's textile industries to showcase its core strength. It's also showing how they are moving towards, there was a time when it used to be, something that used to create a lot of problem for the environment. It's now moving towards sustainability mission life. That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been talking about. They are moving on in that particular direction. And I have with me some of the key players who are organizing this. Sir, what's your name?
Rakesh Kumar, I'm Secretary General Bharat Tex 2024.
Sir, tell us also how is this such an important event that you guys are doing, and what are major things in this?
This is the first time such a big event is coming up in India. Right. 20 lakh square feet is the size of the event. It is happening in both the venue, Bharat Mandapam and Yashobhumi.
Right. The Bharat Mandapam, we are here, and Lipakshi, let me tell you, sir, Narendra sir, you tell us how is important.
Whole textile industry, there are different chains. All complete textile industry, first time in world is under one roof. Right. And there are representative delegates from 110 countries. There would be 50 knowledge sessions for sustainability to take it forward, for product innovation, for factory 4.0. So there would be lot of knowledge to be taken from here, and there would be a lot of collaboration, international collaborations would be happening. So it is one of the unique event in textile industry, and it is the biggest textile industry show.
Bhadraji is also here. Lipakshi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
Yes.
Lipakshi, can you hear me out?
Yes.
I give Bhadra's experience. We have seen that a lot of work is going on moving towards sustainability. What exactly is happening?
Oh, it is a movement which is just starting to move from textile industry. Sustainability is no more option for anyone. It will be the way of life forward. So with this Bharat Tex, that is our core theme. And today, besides plastics, textile will be the second polluting component on earth. So with this Bharat Tex, we are hoping to start a movement of sustainability in the world and showcase the world that we are ready.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given 5 mantras. That's called farm, fiber, factory, foreign, and how to take it forward as a fashionable sense. So I give you, this particular Bharat Tex exhibition actually showcases that. Let me just give you, an idea. You see this 2 ladies out here. This shows the farm. They are coming from rural background. They give they provide a basic idea how things go from farm to fiber. This is they have made a pavilion out here. You can see they are the success story of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision. This is a farm. Farm are the where the Indian textiles is coming out, and then it comes to the fiber, where we are talking about diverse array of fibers in the Indian textile landscape, and how they are taking it further to the from here to factory. Now, these are all the people coming all the way from Tamil Nadu, and then to factory here. We have some people out here who are the classic example of how they actually change the whole gamut of changing the way Indian textile industry works, and from here factory, where it goes to the fashion sector. And here there is a fashion sector that we can see, fashion and then foreign. You are fashionable. You're providing a fashion, and then there is a foreign trade export that is also there. So this particular expo is kind of give us a sneak peek at how India's textile industry is shaping up. Not just providing the textile to the world, but at the same time providing sustainable solution. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been talking about Mission Life, this actually goes beyond that. It takes the mission and takes it to the world, and that's how remember, textile industry is it provides a lot of pollutant to the environment, but they are changing the whole way Indian textile industry go about. Vipakshi.
All right, so the entire textile industry under one gambit are drawing inspiration from Prime Minister's 5F vision. As you also told us, Bharat Tex 2024 is to focus on the entire textile value chain. How will this help in boosting the trade and investment, and above all the sustainability you're talking about?
So as I mentioned, sustainability is a very important product. There was a time, you remember Tirupur textile manufacturing facility. There was a time there were other manufacturing facility which used to pollute a lot. The textile manufacturers, they used to the dye that used to be cast in that, they used to be pollutants. Now what happens is that they are changing the way it is done. The new technology is coming. We have seen here in this particular expo that how one machine, one computerized machine can do the work and actually reduce the pollutant by almost 70%. Now, if that happens, imagine what kind of impact it will have. Now, the challenge is to take it forward, take it in a big way, and provide it to the other people. And that's where the challenge lies, to take the technology to the grassroots level. Now, that part is also being done here at the Bharat Tex 2024. Now, that one part is there. Now what happens is that if you create a textile input and you create a particular material, what happens, you need to market that, and that's here the fashion fashion our fashions people come, and here they're providing all those inputs. You can see that they're providing a garment industry the latest of exactly what to expect. Now, if you create a market, domestic and international, you need to also be prepared to export. Now, how will you export? You need a system in place where a one-stop solution can be provided for India's export-driven market. So that's something also been provided in Bharat Tex 2024. Remember, Bangladesh is currently one of the major hub of textile industry in the world. Other South Asian countries are also there. So if India has to make a major presence felt in this particular arena, it is imperative that they not just take the game to the to the world, but at the same time showcase that here is a product which is not just viable, but at the same time sustainable. So those are the two major components that will be showcased in Bharat Tex 2024.
All right, Tapas, thank you so much for that update from there, and we'll keep taking more throughout the day. And moving on, later on the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone, inaugurate and dedicate to the nation around 2,000 railway infrastructure projects via video conferencing. Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone for redevelopment of 553 railway stations under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. Further, Prime Minister will inaugurate Gomti Nagar Station in Uttar Pradesh, which has been redeveloped at a total cost of around 385 crore rupees. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone, inaugurate and dedicate to the nation 1,500 road over bridges and underpasses. These road over bridges and underpasses spread across 24 states and union territories. The total cost of these projects is around 21,520 crore rupees. These projects will reduce congestion, enhance safety and connectivity, improve capacity and efficiency of all rail travel. And India's Ministry of External Affairs has refurbished media reports regarding Indians with the Russian army seeking help for discharge. In a tweet, MEA writes, and I quote, each and every such case brought to the attention of the Indian Embassy in Moscow has been strongly taken up with the Russian authorities, and those brought to the attention of the ministry have been taken up with the Russian Embassy in New Delhi. Several Indians have already been discharged as a result. We remain committed as a matter of top priority to actively pursue with the Russian authorities of all the relevant cases of Indian nationals for an early discharge from the Russian army, unquote. And Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra on Sunday welcomed permanent representatives of different nations to the United Nations on their visit to India. Discussions covered strengthening multilateral efforts to meet contemporary global challenges. The Foreign Secretary highlighted India's active engagement at the UN and work in championing the interest of the Global South. India's deepening engagement with the United Nations is based on its steadfast commitment to multilateralism and dialogue as the keys to achieving shared goals and addressing common challenges faced by the global community. The MEA said in a statement, India strongly believes that the United Nations and the norms of international relations that it has fostered remain the most efficacious means for tackling today's global challenges. And Thailand's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Parnpree Bahiddha-Nukara arrived in India's capital New Delhi on Monday for a 4-day official visit to India. Nukara will be co-chairing the 10th Indo-Thailand Joint Commission meeting with India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar at the Hyderabad House in Delhi on Tuesday. During his visit, Nukara is also scheduled to meet Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. And after the success of the International Purple Fest 2024 in India's Goa, the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities under the Indian Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is organizing a fun-filled day-long Purple Fest in the Rashtrapati Bhavan on Monday. President of India Draupadi Murmu to inaugurate the event. This fest aims on raising awareness about different disabilities and their impact on people's lives. The Purple Fest will stalls of organizations working in the field of accessibility, inclusion and disability rights. Beyond the festivities, visitors will also embark on a journey of discovery through the Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum, enriching their minds while embracing the ethos of inclusivity. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. A joint military-dubbed exercise, Dharma Guardian, between India and Japan commenced on Sunday at Mahajan Field firing ranges in the northern state of Rajasthan. The exercise aims to enhance interoperability in joint tactical level operations in semi-urban environment under the United Nations mandate. The Indian Army has established the Sheena Cultural Centre cum Museum in Dower in northern India's Kashmir. The centre is the first ever museum dedicated to the Doordarshan tribe of Jammu and Kashmir, a blend of cultural and digital displays highlighting the history of the Sheena community is on display at the museum. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Strike by trainee doctors cripple functioning of hospitals in South Korea, refusing to abide by the demands of the doctors. South Korean government urges them to return to work. A Japanese dance group, Avant-Garde, earned laurels for their performance in Hong Kong, but at the same time raised eyebrows too. Why? We tell you ahead. With significant decrease in Asian elephant numbers, animal rights groups in Bangladesh have welcomed the suspension of all licenses for their capture.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, Israeli delegation will depart this week to the Qatari capital Doha to continue the talks over a Gaza truce deal. The follow-up would be taken up after the basic contours of a hostage deal for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza was agreed. The meeting was attended by the chief of Israel's spy agency Mossad and Domestic Security Service Shin Bet, along with mediators from the United States, Qatar and Egypt. According to sources, the follow-up round would be held in Cairo. However, there is no confirmation from the Israel, Hamas or Qatar. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday said it was not clear yet whether a hostage deal would materialize from ongoing talks. He added that Hamas needed to come down to a reasonable situation for a deal. He said this Israeli Security Cabinet is expected to approve military plans for Rafah, including the evacuation of over 1 million displaced Palestinian civilians who have been sheltering there. And updates now on Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russian forces will attempt to conduct another offensive in Ukraine in late May or summer. He added, "We will prepare for Russia's assault."
Russia will prepare counter-offensive actions in the beginning of summer or at the end of May, if they can, that is. They will prepare. We will prepare for their assault. Their assault that began on October 8th has not brought any results, I think. We from our side will prepare our plan and will counter their actions. The critical moments will be the elections in the United States, and only then we will understand what will happen in regards to this after the elections.
And U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan underscored the United States' commitment to delivering weapons and ammunition to Ukraine rapidly and efficiently on Sunday.
The United States will continue alongside our allies and partners to try to get Ukraine all of the tools and capabilities that it needs to be able to conduct this fight as rapidly and as efficiently as we possibly can.
Well, moving on, Polish farmers added their tractors to growing EU protest, blocking one of the key crossings into Germany on Sunday. Around 100 tractors lined up on the Polish side of the A20 north of Sweco, blocking the border and forcing German-bound traffic through Sulebais and over the bridge into Frankfurt-Oder. The protest blocked other roads and caused heavy traffic. The Polish farmers said their protest would likely finish on Monday, but also mentioned as long as things remained unchanged, the protest will continue. And a day after Ukraine marked its second anniversary of Russia's full-scale offensive, Kyiv held the Year 2024 forum to discuss the year ahead. Defense Minister Rustem Umerov said 50% of Western arms deliveries were delayed. Maggie Milim has more on this.
2024 forum on Sunday and laid out the country's goals for the year ahead. Mikhailo Fedorov, the Minister of Digital Transformation, reiterated Kyiv's goal of producing 1 million drones. And Alexander Commission, the Minister of Strategic Industries, said Ukraine's defense capabilities will increase sixfold this year. But Ukraine's Defense Minister Rustem Umerov gave a grim account of Western military aid. He said 50% of arms deliveries were not being delivered on time.
Since the situation is always dynamic, at the moment, commitment doesn't constitute delivery. 50% of commitments are not delivered on time. So which means that in the mathematics of war, we look to the enemy. Their economy is almost 2 trillion.
Zelensky's peace formula was also discussed ahead of the peace summit to be hosted by Switzerland this year. Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, said Ukraine and its foreign partners could invite Russia to the summit if it was willing to discuss an end to the war on Kyiv's terms. Now, Zelensky held a press conference after the forum where he appealed for more support from the United States. He said Ukraine was in need of aid within a month. He also gave a rare account of troop losses, saying 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion.
Перший саміт інаугураційний.
I hope the first summit, the inaugurational one, will take place as per today's information in the spring. We cannot afford to lose the diplomatic initiative. It will take place in Switzerland. We would like the second summit to take place somewhere else on the European continent.
В Швейцарії.
Megumi Lim in Kyiv reporting for DD India.
Well, Hungary is expected to ratify Sweden's NATO accession on Monday, clearing the last hurdle before the historic step by the Nordic country. Sweden applied 2 years back to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, an historic shift in policy prompted by Russia's full-scale conflict with Ukraine. Hungary was the last member of NATO holding out Sweden's application. Hungary's Prime Minister met Swedish counterpart on Friday and said he had managed to rebuild trust. Earlier, Finland became the 31st NATO member last year. Finland's membership was the result of an 11-month process that began after Russia's offensive in Ukraine. And when Sweden joins NATO, it will help the alliance redress its vulnerability in northwest Europe, the Baltic Sea, a shared waterway with Russia, with a bottleneck for access to ports in 8 states, including Germany. Stockholm is aiming to spend 2% of its GDP on defense by 2026 to increase its military capacity across land, sea and air. According to the chief of the military, the Nordic country aims to double its number of conscripts from an estimated 24,000 in 2025 to 50,000 in 2035. Sweden has been operating submarines in the Baltic since 1904. Sweden hopes its submarine will give the NATO a strategic edge in the Baltic Sea. And former U.S. President Donald Trump is moving forward with campaigns that challenge current President Joe Biden. It's not official, but he is the presumptive Republican Party nominee after winning the latest primary election in South Carolina against Nikki Haley. Caroline Malone reports from Charleston.
Well, Nikki Haley hasn't admitted complete defeat just yet, despite having lost the South Carolina Republican primary to Donald Trump. In her concession speech that she gave late on Saturday night, she said she's a woman of her word and she had promised to carry on campaigning and to give the Republican Party voters an alternative, an option that's not Donald Trump. And she says that's what she's going to do. In fact, she has 7 places on her agenda to visit and campaign at over the next week and a half. Now, in terms of the results itself, she actually did fractionally better than expected. In the final tally, Donald Trump got about 70% of votes, Nikki Haley just under 40%, so she lost by about 20 points, which is slightly smaller than polls had predicted that she would, saying she might lose by as much as 30 points. However, Donald Trump very much still the winner in South Carolina and very much likely to be the presumptive Republican Party candidate for president going forward. We'll see more of that on Super Tuesday. That's a day on March the 5th when we have 16 US territories and states holding their primary elections to decide on their party's nomination for presidential candidates. Donald Trump, again, likely to do well in those states, and then it will become almost certain that he is the Republican Party's choice. However, Nikki Haley may still pick up some delegates. She may gain some in places such as Texas, where she still does retain some support. For Donald Trump, though, moving forward, he is already calling it certain, saying that he is the Republican Party's candidate, and moving gender items towards campaigning against President Biden right now, calling out President Biden for what he calls bad action on the economy, saying he's going to fix the economy for people, also crack down on border security. Caroline Malone in Charleston, South Carolina, for DD India.
And after defeat to Donald Trump in South Carolina, Nikki Haley looks ahead to Michigan and Super Tuesday. The Michigan presidential primary will be held on Tuesday. The candidates on the Democratic ballot are Joe Biden, Tremaine Phillips, and former candidate Marianne Williamson. The Republican ballot includes Donald Trump, Nikki Haley. With his win on Saturday in the first in the South contest, Trump has now swept every primary or caucus on the GOP early season calendar that awards delegates. His performances have left little maneuvering room for Haley, his former UN ambassador. And Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko confirmed on Sunday that he will stand for re-election in 2025. Lukashenko made his comments after voting in parliamentary and local council elections, denounced by the United States as a sham. Sunday's election is the first since the contentious 2020 presidential vote that handed Lukashenko his sixth term in office. The result was disrupted by the country's opposition and sparked months of angry protest against his government. Lukashenko, who has ruled Belarus since 1994, is one of Russian President Vladimir Putin's closest allies. And still to come on DD India News Hour. The World Trade Organization will hold its 13th ministerial conference from today in Abu Dhabi. Tuvalu on Monday morning announced Felity Theo as its new Prime Minister. And armed police forces worked for 9 hours to restore traffic on the Sichuan-Tibet highway in Chengdu city, southwest of China, after a heavy snowstorm disrupted traffic.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information. to Jaipur.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. A mega celebration of textile trade, technology and tradition as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Bharat Tex 2024. Israel, United States, Qatar and Egypt come to an understanding of basic contours of a hostage deal for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. Prime Minister Netanyahu cast doubt. And Indian batters hit the ground running on day 4 as the I-Series win in the 4th test against England. And moving on, a group of migrants had to be rescued after they were swept downstream while attempting to cross the Rio Grande River near Texas. Mexican National Guard and police helped the migrants get to the shore. However, one Guatemalan woman remained missing and it was not immediately known whether she survived. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has begun construction of an 80-acre military base camp in the city of Eagle Pass in Texas. The camp will house 1,800 troops as part of a broader effort to deter record numbers of migrants crossing illegally. And former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro gathered thousands of supporters amid accusations he plotted a coup to stay in power. Former Brazilian president called the rally after being targeted by a police raid earlier this month, investigating an alleged coup attempt. Police have seized Bolsonaro's passport and is under scrutiny for the alleged plans to remain in power after losing the 2022 elections to President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Bolsonaro denied the accusations and said he was being persecuted, adding that the draft decree was based on the Constitution. Well, South Korea's government has warned the doctors to return to work or risk being punished for staging a week-long protest. Country's vice health minister said the doctors might face a suspension of their licenses or other legal repercussions if they do not return to work by the end of February. In South Korea, 2/3 of the nation's residents and intern doctors had walked off the job to protest government plan to increase medical school admissions. The association has requested the government to cancel the plan, saying that higher medical school admissions will only lower the overall medical education level in South Korea and won't solve the medical resources imbalance. The association warned of continued protest if the government insists on the policy. And DD India correspondent Chris Gilbert tells us more from Tokyo on this.
Today, there are 9,000 fewer trainee and junior doctors working, especially in university hospitals, than there were this time last week. And they are a drop in the pool of all the doctors in the country, but they are an essential cog in the wheel of the entire health system, and one that has simply fallen away in the last week. And this is really the culmination of multiple factors and multiple years of issues coming to a head. You mentioned some of the reasons why they're striking. They actually extend as well into their wages, their conditions, the competition that's going to increase with 2,000 more doctors going into medical school every year, but also those doctors then graduating and entering the workforce and facing the conditions that these junior doctors and senior doctors before them have faced. They say 36-hour shifts, 100-hour weeks for about $3,000 a month, and we've seen about 400 senior established doctors on Sunday join in solidarity, protesting alongside these junior doctors who are resigning and walking out. And they're doing this at the risk of either having their medical license revoked by the government or even being arrested by the government for what it's calling this illegal collective action. So it is a significant issue that has been boiling and simmering away in South Korea. It is now clearly at the surface for all to see due to the action by these trainee doctors.
Well, Tuvalu announced Felatiteo as its new prime minister after he was elected unopposed by lawmakers in the Pacific Islands nation. Felatiteo, who was Tuvalu's first attorney general, has received unanimous support from the 16 lawmakers. Former Prime Minister Kosia Neteno lost his seat in the general election on January 26th amid a geopolitical tussle for influence in the South Pacific. Earlier, Tuvalu election officials said only one nomination had been sent to the Governor General. He said the Governor General would make an announcement after a formal vote by the lawmakers on Monday. And tens of thousands of people took to the streets of German cities to protest against the far right on Sunday. The biggest protest was in the northern city of Hamburg, where some 50,000 people gathered, according to the organizers. Hamburg is the second largest city in Germany. Protesters gathered against collaborating with the far right in German politics since the Second World War. This was already the third major demonstration against the right in Hamburg. Germany was seen as a wave of demonstrations against the far right after an investigative report revealed far-right extremists met last year to discuss the deportation of millions of immigrants. And the World Trade Organization will hold its 13th ministerial conference begin today in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Trade ministers from across the globe will evaluate the functioning of the multilateral trading system and chart the future course of the WTO. Ahead of the meeting, the G33, a coalition of 47 developing countries, including India, urged the WTO to advance agriculture trade negotiations at the conference. They emphasized the urgency for action, citing the Food and Agriculture Organization's projection of nearly 600 million people facing chronic hunger by the year 2030. The G33 also highlighted the necessity to preserve special treatment for developing countries and consider non-trade concerns in future negotiations. And people of Thailand are pouring into Bangkok to have a glimpse of the holy relics of Lord Buddha and his two disciples. They brought from India by a 22-member delegation. Nearly 1 lakh devotees paid their obeisance to the sacred relics at the pagoda in Sanam Luang Pavilion on Maka Bucha on 24th of February. The 4 holy Piparava relics of Lord Buddha and his disciples were enshrined on 23rd of February for public veneration. The holy relics will be escorted back on 19th of March from Thailand to their respective homes in India, concluding a historic and spiritually enriching exposition in Thailand. And animal rights groups in Bangladesh have welcomed the suspension of all licenses for young Asian elephants, allowing them to no longer be captured and taken into captivity. The country used to be a major home for Asian elephants, but poaching and habitat loss have led to a significant decrease in their numbers. The High Court's decision aims to end the harsh training that has been inflicted on the animals, with about half of them living in captivity. The suspension comes after a young elephant was killed by a train for begging on the streets. Now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world today. Hong Kong has introduced its first hydrogen bus on Route 20 running through Kowloon City. The bus is expected to expand service coverage to routes 20A and 22M. Citybus plans to build another hydrogen refill station. 5 more hydrogen buses are planned. British singer-songwriter George Michael is being honoured with a personalised collectible coin by the Royal Mint. The coin, designed by artist Sandra Diana, pays tribute to Michel's 1987 hit single Faith. Michel, who died in 2016, was a global superstar whose work has inspired generations. The Royal Mint's Music Legend series, which has previously honoured David Bowie, Elton John and Queen, will be available for purchase from the 26th of February. China's Lantern Festival, celebrated on the 15th day of the first month, marks the end of the Spring Festival period. It brings families together to appreciate the first full moon of the Chinese New Year, admire illuminated lanterns, enjoy traditional performances, and participate in festivities. The Film Independent Spirit Awards in Santa Monica, California saw Celine Song's Past Lives win the top Best Feature prize. Oscar nominees Lily Gladstone and Darwin Joy Randolph, who won the Spirit Award for the Best Supporting Performance for Holdovers, also attended. The awards held annually are held in the final stretch of Hollywood's awards season before the Academy Awards. Well, armed police forces worked for 9 hours to restore traffic on the Sichuan-Tibet highway in Chengdu City, southwest of China, after a heavy snowstorm disrupted traffic. Despite high altitude and low visibility, the forces cleared over 70,000 cubic meters of snow, restoring traffic in all affected sections. Political instructor urged drivers and passengers to pay attention to weather and choose the right time to travel. And in business news, British employers advertised the fewest jobs in nearly 3 years last month, with numbers down by 15% from a year ago. Data figures company showed on Monday, adding to signs that the labour market is cooling. However, the central bank wants to see wage growth slow from rates of more than 6% in order to put downward pressure on inflation, which remains double its target. Falling job vacancies offer a potential sign that employers are finding it easier to recruit than in the immediate aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. And U.S. President Joe Biden will meet with congressional leaders on Tuesday to discuss funding the government as a partial shutdown deadline looms on Friday. Biden will meet with top Democrats and Republicans from both the House and Senate. He also plans to discuss a stalled national security bill that provides assistance to Ukraine, Israel and Taiwan. The meeting comes as lawmakers remain at a stalemate to avoid a shutdown. Funding is due to run out on March 1st for some federal agencies, including the Department of Transportation, while others like the Defense Department face a March 8th deadline. And in business news, Asian stocks opened on a positive note on Monday. Japan's Nikkei 225 index hit a fresh record high as trades resumed after a long weekend. Elsewhere, China shares opened higher to extend their winning streak. Japan's Nikkei 225 rose 0.6%, comfortably trading above its closing record of 39,098.68. The index first breached its 1989 all-time high of 38,915.87 on Thursday. The Topix added 0.8%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index was up by 0.1%. South Korea's Kospi, however, moved against the trend and slipped 1.1%, while the small cap Kospi added 0.2%. You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for some sports news. India inching closer to series-clinching victory in the fourth test against England in the eastern city of Ranchi. India resumed their innings on 40 for no loss on day 4 in their bid to chase 192-run target. Indian openers hit the ground running. However, Joe Root struck to remove in form Yashasvi Jaiswal on 37 runs. Early on day 3, spin twins Ravichandran Ashwin and Kuldeep Yadav combined to rout England in their second innings, sharing 9 wickets on a turning track to bundle out England for 145 inside 2 sessions. The hosts are 2-1 up in the 5-test series. An English soccer club, Liverpool, clinched their 10th English League Cup trophy on Sunday, beating Chelsea 1-0 at Wembley. Virgil van Dijk's extra-time goal in the 28th minute of extra time settled a tense clash that had ended 0-0 in regulation. Jurgen Klopp clinched an 8th piece of major silverware at Liverpool and ensured he will not end his final year at the club empty-handed. Klopp will step down at the end of the season, but victory in the League Cup has kept his team on course for an improbable quadruple of trophies. Liverpool currently leads the Premier League table and is still in contention for the FA Cup and Europa League. Well, Luka Modric rolled back the years with a sublime late winner against Sevilla as Real Madrid moved 8 points clear at the top of La Liga. With England midfielder Jude Bellingham absent for Real for a third consecutive game, the contest looked to be heading towards a goal-less draw. However, Croatia midfielder Modric curled in 7 minutes after his introduction as a substitute. Barcelona is on second place with 57 points, followed by Girona a point further back in third. And on to Major League Soccer, Lionel Messi proved to be the hero for Inter Miami once again, netting an equalizer in stoppage time for the Herons in a draw against the LA Galaxy. Messi scored in the second minute of second half injury time off a pass from Jordi Alba, which helped Inter salvage the 1-1 draw after Dejan Jolovic scored in the 75th minute for the Galaxy. Galaxy were close to delivering a surprising early season blow to Messi and his new MLS powerhouse before the Argentine superstar worked another bit of magic with LA down to 10 men. And three-time Olympian Deepika Kumari marked a triumph to return to the international stage by winning the gold medal in the women's individual recurve category at the Asia Cup Archery Stage 1 tournament in Baghdad, city of Iraq, on Sunday. Deepika defeated Simranjeet Kaur 6-2 in an all-Indian final to win the title. Meanwhile, Dheeraj Bommadevarara trumped compatriot and Olympian Tarundeep Rai 7-3 to win the men's recurve archery title. India finished the Baghdad meet with 14 medals. That includes 9 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze. And more in sports, Indian shuttler Pramod Bhagat retained his gold medal at the Para Badminton World Championships in Pattaya city of Thailand. After losing the first game, Bhagat scripted a fine comeback to defeat Daryl Bethel of the United Kingdom 14-21, 21-15 and 21-14 in SL3 category. Earlier in the day, Suhas Yathiraj and Krishna Nagar bagged the gold medals in their respective matches. Suhas beat Indonesia's Freddy Setiawan in straight games in the SL4 final, while Krishna got better of China's Lin Nai to secure 22-20, 22-20 victory in the SH6 final. Indian shuttlers bagged 18 medals, including 3 gold, 4 silver and 11 bronze in the tournament, which concluded on Sunday. An Indian Army has emerged as the overall winner at the 4th edition of the Khelo India Winter Games, which were held in northern towns of Leh and Gulmarg. The Indian Army teams bagged 20 medals that included 10 gold, 5 silver and 5 bronze medals. The events included snowboarding, alpine skiing, Nordic skiing, snow mountaineering, ice hockey, ice skating and more. The games were conducted in 2 phases. The first phase was held in Leh from February 2nd to 6th, while the second phase was conducted from February 21st to 25th in Gulmarg town of Jammu and Kashmir. And a sports challenge was organized in New Delhi's National Stadium as part of the Miss World pageant on Saturday, and all the contestants enjoyed the sports activities. Miss New Zealand Navjot Kaur is a die-hard Virat Kohli fan. In an exclusive interview with DD India correspondent Suchitra Bharadwaj, Miss New Zealand said that India and New Zealand have many things in common, with the love for cricket being one of them.
Miss World 2023, the beauty pageant being held in India, is being called Beauty with Purpose. And we have with us Miss New Zealand Navjot Kaur. How important is it to take part in any sports or stay fit for all the beauty participants?
I think it's very important. I think girls need to get out there, and even if people stop you not to go play sports or go to the gym every day, you should go because it's for your own health benefits. And I think it will let girls achieve what they want to achieve. Like, I was a police officer, and I feel like a lot of girls can become that if they join sports because they'll be healthy throughout their lives.
You all were cheering for each other. So how was the overall experience of this sports challenge?
I think it's brought us all together. Like, even if we know that there's going to be one winner from here, I think everyone's playing it together and everyone's cheering each other on, because I think everyone's going through the same thing. So, yeah.
India and New Zealand, they have a very sweet kind of rivalry in cricket, and today you played cricket. So how was that experience? And whenever there's a match, India versus New Zealand, what are your emotions?
I don't really watch cricket, but today I played cricket and I was like, I get where the team sport comes. Like, I think India and New Zealand play the sport, but they're really supportive as well, like as teams. And I think if India wins the World Cup or New Zealand, they know they've given their best effort and they're 100%. And I think it brings us together, to be honest.
Any particular Indian sports persons that you follow, anyone that you like from India?
I like Virat Kohli. I think because he's married to Anushka Sharma. I really admire Anushka Sharma. But I think Virat Kohli, everyone knows, he's a great cricketer. I don't watch cricket, but I've heard that he's done centuries and centuries, and I'm like, yeah, I think he's my favourite.
And any message for the aspiring young girls who want to become Miss World?
I think it's chase your dreams. I think if someone puts restrictions on you, break them. Break the norms, and I think get out there and achieve something big in your life, and always be humble. Like, always thank God, to be honest, and always put it on God. If you have faith, you can achieve anything. And I would say take risks. That's my last message I would say.
Thank you so much for talking to us. So Miss New Zealand, Navjot Kaur, who says that if you have faith, you can achieve anything in the world. With camera person Sunny Kalra, this is Suchitra for DD India in New Delhi.
Well, a great message from Miss New Zealand there. And moving on, Miss India, Sini Shetty, who's going to represent India at Miss World Beauty Pageant, participated in a sports challenge that was organized in New Delhi's National Stadium. In an exclusive interaction with DD India correspondent Suchitra Bharadwaj, Sini Shetty says that sports is an important part of everyone's life, and it is really important for everyone to stay fit.
We have with us Sini Shetty, who's going to represent India in the Miss World 2023 pageant. How important is fitness and sports for any person?
I think for everyone, fitness and health is important, because that is dependent on your well-being. That is how you function in a day. I do believe that fitness is of highest importance for me, to not only keep my body fit, but also my mental health, my mind fit is something that is very important.
Growing up, which were your favorite sports, and right now any particular sport that you follow?
Well, you know, because I'm an Indian, of course, cricket is to my heart. Cricket is a religion in India. I do love cricket. I watch cricket. I am the one who's stuck to her TV with like a glue when a cricket match is happening. So yes, cricket is something that I really like watching. And back in school days, we used to die to run in races.
Sports is a great connector. We saw there was a lot of camaraderie among the girls, and they were cheering for each other. So how was the overall experience?
I think that comes with Miss World. It's a place where we have lived, you know, we live together for 40 days. So sisterhood comes within, and also sports in general kind of, you know, the camaraderie comes with teamwork as well. To win a race, all the teams were working together. So teamwork, camaraderie, sisterhood, the feeling of belonging within themselves all came through with this sports day. And I think this made our bond even stronger.
There are a lot of initiatives from the government for sports. And how do you look at them, and how important is it for young boys, young girls to be connected with sports, to play any sport?
I definitely do believe that India is now a global power, not only when it comes to sports, but in every sector, every genre. And I'm really proud that I get to represent such a beautiful country. But I do believe that there are so many opportunities, and we have so much talent and potential within our country that needs to be advocated, and also at the same time motivated to go in the field of sports.
This pageant is being called Beauty with Purpose. What message would you like to give aspiring young girls who want to become future Miss World?
Just don't put pressure on yourself. I know that there's a lot of pressure because we live in a picture perfect world. Just calm yourself down. Keep your head straight in the game. I'm sure the world is waiting for the wonders that you do.
Sini Shetty, who's going to represent India at the Miss World Beauty Pageant, she says that the young girls must believe in themselves and they can achieve anything in this world. With camera person Sunny Kalra, this is Suchitra for DD India in New Delhi.
And China's Lantern Festival, celebrated on the 15th day of the first month, marks the end of the Spring Festival period. It brings families together to appreciate the first full moon of the Chinese New Year, admire illuminated lanterns, enjoy traditional performances and participate in festivities. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Kurana from all of us in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.